Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So you're thinking about maybe buying your first 3D printer, but you just don't know where to start. Where do you go after you buy the 3D printer? What do you do? Well, that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you everything you need to know from buying your first 3D printer and giving you a recommendation for which one to buy, to the slicing software, and then to sending it to your 3D printer. Also, stick around to the very end because I want to throw a couple bonus tips in at the very end that I think you'll find really helpful as a beginner. So let's go ahead and get everything set up and we'll get started, and I'm going to show you everything you need to know so you don't need to worry or be afraid of 3D printing. Thanks. Okay, so before we get started on this, there's a couple things we need to discuss. And basically, it's what you're going to need to do 3D printing. And obviously, you're going to need a printer. And if you are a total beginner, totally new, inexperienced, you basically never touched a 3D printer in your life, I would suggest a Bambu Lab A1 Mini. Now, they're small, they're powerful, and they can do basically anything you want them to do. And they're relatively cheap. You can actually get one for around $225, give or take. But you can also get them with the AMS system, which is the multi-material system that allows you to print in more than one color. And I do highly recommend that you buy them both as a combo unit because you will save money. So with that being said, Bambu Lab A1 Mini, get that if you're a beginner. Then you're going to need some filament to print with. Now, most printers, when you buy the printer, they will come with a sample of filament. It doesn't last very long, so I suggest you buy a 1 kilogram roll of some basic filaments, like some white, some black, a gray, something like that. And you're going to use a lot of it because you're going to make a lot of mistakes and you're going to have a lot of waste, but that's okay because you're just learning, and that's all this is about, is learning how to do it. So get one, and you can get that on Bambu Lab as well. I think it's about $18 for the 1 kilogram roll, and you'll be set to go there. And lastly, what you'll need is you'll need a slicer program. The slicer program, you can get that through Bambu Studio. And you go ahead onto Bambu Labs, you download the Bambu Studio, and there's your slicer. It's already there, ready for you. Now, what is a slicer, you might ask? Well, a slicer is the program that turns the STL file into a G code so the printer can read it and print it. I know that kind of sounds technical and maybe a little bit confusing, but trust me, you'll see there's nothing to it and nothing to worry about. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump over to the computer. I'll pull some stuff up, and we're going to go from picking a model, where to get it from, and sending it to the slicer and then to the printer. And you're going to have your first print in about 15 to 20 minutes. So let's get going on it. Thanks a lot. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to download Bambu Studio. And the way you do that is you go to Bambu Lab and click on the tab for Bambu Studios, and it's going to give you two options, one for Mac or one for Windows. So just download whatever system you have and you'll be ready to go. Once you get into Bambu Studios, it's going to look like this, and you're going to want to go to Maker World. Maker World is their online model library. And the way to get there is you'll just click over here on the left-hand side, Online Models, and it'll bring you to Maker World. And then you can just scroll down and look at all the things they have to print. Some of these prints are going to be free, public domain, which means you can print them and sell them as much as you want. Others are going to be what's called standard digital license, which means you can print them and use them for your own personal use or give them away for like a gift or something, but you just can't sell them commercially. The designer prohibits that. So what we're going to do then is we're just going to come up here and search for something really easy, really quick to print, so you can see how to do that. So we're going to search for a model. We're going to do this benchy down here. We'll type in benchy and let it search. And it's going to pop up a whole lot of different benchies here. We'll just stick with the original 3D benchy. So what we'll do is we'll just click on the picture and it's going to bring it up with a couple of options. You can see this is the original benchy. This one is multicolored. This one has a keychain on it. So there's a couple of different files you can use, but we're just going to stick with the original benchy. Now, this usually comes pre-installed on the A1 Mini when you buy it, but for this purpose, about finding models and getting them to the slicer, we're going to go ahead and do that. So once you find it, and the way you know it's the original is it's usually the first one listed. So you come down here and you just hit download and open, and it's going to take it directly to the Bamboo Studio slicer. So it's going to upload it. That's good. We'll hit OK. We'll switch this to the Bamboo Lab A1 Mini because I have a couple different printers, so I had to choose which one I wanted to use. But with you, if it's your first printer, you won't have any problems. You won't have to mess with all those windows that popped up. So I'm just going to come over here where it says printer and make sure it says Bamboo Lab A1 Mini. And it does. And it does have the correct nozzle size right here. We're using a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. So we don't have to make any changes in anything over here because it's all preset for you. In a later video, I will show you how to go through all these and make changes if you want to. Now the next thing we do is we just hit slice plate up here, and it's going to slice the plate for us. And this is going to tell us exactly how long it's going to take to make it, which is going to be 47 minutes and 33 seconds. And it's kind of long for a benchy, but that's okay. And it's also going to tell you exactly how much filament we're going to use, which is it's going to be 10.84 grams of filament. Now that's going to include the actual model and what it purges in the beginning to clear the nozzle out. So that's going to be total filament used. This right here, the 3.58, almost 4 millimeters, that's the actual model. That's the actual filament used in the model. This other here is basically waste. But it's what it does. It has to do that to ensure a clear print. So now the next thing you do is you just hit print plate, and it's going to pop up, and you hit send. It'll load the job, and it'll send it to the printer. And once it's done sending it, it's going to change windows for you. And just like it did right now, now you know it has actually been sent to the printer you chose. And you will see it start going through its downloading process down here. And once it's 100% like it is now, it's going to switch over, and it's going to tell you exactly 47 minutes to print this. And it's going to start doing its preheating, its calibrations, its bed leveling. It's going to start doing all that stuff, and it'll get it printed for you. So that's where I would suggest you go, is to Maker World. Search your first print, get it there, and just download it and open it, and it will send it directly to the slicer for you. And you can learn to do it that way. Okay, so as you can see, we got the benchy sent to the printer, and it's already more than halfway through, and it's doing its thing. It's looking real good, and here in about 20 minutes, this will be completely done. We'll go ahead and get it pulled off and take a look at it. So as you can see, The printer has just finished up printing the Benchy. And let's go ahead and pull this off the build plate and take a real close look at it and see how it did. As you can see, it turned out really good. There is absolutely no stringing on this model. You can see some layer lines, but those can be fixed in the slicer. Like I said, I'll show you some more features in the slicer once you get used to just selecting a print and printing it. But yeah, this thing turned out really nice. So that's how you send a print to the slicer and get it printed. So there you have it. All right, so that's going to be the end of this tutorial video on how to get into 3D printing. Now, real quick side note, if you go back and look at some of my other videos, there's plenty of information in there that I haven't included today that you might find useful. So go ahead and check those out if you would. Also, I promised you a bonus about 3D printing, and the one thing I can say is that 3D printing takes a lot longer than you think. Some people think you just print it and in a very short amount of time you're going to have a model ready to go. Well, that doesn't always happen. One way you can cut down on the printing time is going into your slicer and reducing the sparse infill density. And basically what that is, it's infill that goes inside the model for strength. Now, if you're just printing something to set on a shelf or set on a desk, that's fine. You can lower that down. I've lowered it down to as much as 5% before. So what I'm trying to say is this print took 49 minutes, and I think that was at 25% infill. If I would have decreased that to 15 or even 10%, it may have dropped it down to under 30 minutes for the print to completely done. So that's just one of the ways that you can save a lot of time. And there are other ways, but we're not going to cover that right now. We'll do that in another video. So again, make sure you check out my last videos for any other information. And until then, like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.